Hello everyone! Today we have reached the very normal decision that everyone playing Yu-Gi-Oh! From A to Z eventually has to get to, and it's with I, in the form of choosing Fire, aka Infernoble, or Ice, aka Ice Barrier. And you know we had to stay iced out, so we went with Ice Barrier. Let's get right into a deck profile. Just a fair bit of warning, some of these cards may be considered floodgates, but like, you gotta trust me, they're really not like toxic. Starting off with Revealer of the Ice Barrier, who in herself can be considered a floodgate. While we control another Ice Barrier monster, our opponent cannot tribute summon, but like, it's 2024. Tribute summoning, we're fine. She also comes with two other effects. Once per turn we can discard a card to special summon an Ice Barrier tuner from our deck, which is very nice, getting us into maybe a little Hexia guy here. We can talk about him more later though. And if we would discard or send a card to our hand from the grave to activate an Ice Barrier monster's effect, we can banish her from our grave instead, saving us that discard. Next is 3 Speaker for the Ice Barriers, who again, kind of a floodgate, but like, while we control another Ice Barrier monster, defense position monsters our opponent controls cannot change their battle positions. That ain't that bad. That's not your opponent cannot act, play the game type floodgate, so we're fine. And she comes with 2 effects as well. If we control an Ice Barrier monster, we can special summon her from our hand. And while she's in our grave, if we control an Ice Barrier monster, we can banish her from there and special summon an Ice Barrier token at level 1. Alright, I will concede we are playing 3 Warlock of the Ice Barrier, and this is just a floodgate. She is anti-spell fragrance.
Yeah, boy.
While we control another Ice Barrier monster, both players must set spell cards before activating them, and when they set a spell card, you can't activate it for the rest of the deck. 3 Mirror Magic Master of the Ice Barrier. Still not over here in the TCG yet, but this card is really nice. We contribute another effect monster to special summon up to 3 Ice Barrier tokens, and then we can have her gain the level of the number that we special summon. So, if we summon 3 tokens, she becomes level 5, and then that gets us into an 8 Synchro if we use all of them. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can add an Ice Barrier card that is banished or in our deck to our hand. Kind of a weird situation there, but it's an add from the deck, which is really nice. And 3 Gorgeous. I couldn't respond to my girl because I forgot how to spell gorgeous. Swordsman of the Ice Barrier. This guy, again, a little bit of a floodgate. While we control another Ice Barrier monster, our opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters in their grave. That ain't too bad, you gotta trust me. And he comes with 2 effects, so as you'll notice, many of them do this. If we control another Ice Barrier monster, we can special summon this card from our hand in defense position specifically, and when it's normal or special summon, we can special summon a level 5 or lower Ice Barrier monster from our hand or grave, so lots of summons with this guy. Next up, 2 Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier, our little 1-star tuner guy. Not actually a floodgate this time, but while we control another Ice Barrier monster, our opponent's monsters lose 500 attack and defense. Not too bad, I respect you for having a nice effect like that. Also, during our main phase, we can send a level 3 or lower Ice Barrier monster from our deck to the grave, and this card's level becomes that monster's level. So, one of the good things that you can do in this deck, dump a Mirror Magic. Trust me, you'll see the goo later. And the last Ice Barrier monster, 1 General Raiho of the Ice Barrier. Again, this guy is just straight up a floodgate type card. Level 6 though, so kind of hard to summon, but when your opponent's monster effect is activated on the field, they must discard 1 card, or that effect is negated. Also, you know, we got 2 Swap Frogs. No real frogs or level 2s in this deck, but the waters make the synergy definitely work. We can special summon this card from our hand by discarding 1 other water monster, and when it's special summoned, we can send 1 level 2 or lower water aqua monster from our deck or field to the graveyard, and a lot of these cards are water. Okay, maybe not a lot, but Mirror Magic, who I just said we can put in the grave for some goo, is a water aqua, so it works. And we can return this guy to our hand if we need like discard fodder, but his second effect not too important. To the spells of the Ice Barriers, we have 3 Medallion of the Ice Barrier, it's the Rhoda of the deck. We can add 1 Ice Barrier monster from our deck to our hand, and 1 Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier. When it's activated, we can target a level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monster in our graveyard and special summon it. And then, when there are 3 or more Ice Barrier monsters on our field, Ice Barrier monsters we control are unaffected by the activated effects of our opponent's monsters that were special summoned specifically from the extra deck. And finally, we wrap it up with a Wins over the Ice Barrier, which lets us tribute any number of Ice Barrier monsters, so go crazy, you can tribute 5 or 6 if you want. And special summon from our deck that many level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monsters, with different names. No, you can't just bring out 3 of the same one. Then, not on the turn that this card was sent to the grave, you can banish it from your grave and target one of your Ice Barrier monsters that is banished or in your graveyard and add it to your hand for some nice little recursion. To the hand traps, we've got 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Oh my gosh, y'all hear that fire truck? 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. You want to add a card to your hand? No. 3 Nibiru the Primal Being. You want to special summon or normal summon more than 5 times? No. Effect Veiler, 2 of them. You want to activate the effect of that monster on the field? No. And 3 Infinite Impermanence. A hand trap that's a trap? Yes. I mean, no, don't do that. Finally, for some going second, or I suppose we still got one more going first card. We got 2 Triple Tactics talents. Just helps us a lot. Draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster. Gets us out of some sticky situations if we get hand traps specifically, or our opponent just activates some monsters on the field. And 1 Lightning Storm. Get rid of some pesky back row, hopefully, or some pesky cards in the field. Could come in handy. And 1 Call by the Grave. Just keep our plays insulated. To the extra deck, we got the OG Trishulate Dragon of the Ice Barrier. When it's synchro summoned, banish a card from our opponent's hand, field, and grave. A nice little banish 3, we take those. And 1 of Trishula's new card, Trishula Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier, which is just its upgrade, kind of. This one's an 11 though, instead of a 9, and when it's synchro summoned, we can banish up to 3 cards our opponent's control. Then, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, we can special summon the original Trishula. Its attack becomes 3300, and we have the attack of all face-up monsters our opponent controls, and their effects get negated. So, lots of bad stuff for our opponent. Next up, 2 Lancia, Dragon Ancestor of the Ice Spirit Mountain. This one is a 10, and once per chain, when our opponent special summons a monster, we can special summon an Ice Barrier monster from our hand, deck, extra deck, or grave, basically anywhere except for the banish zone, and change one of their attack position monsters to defense position. But we can only use it, twice per turn. Yeah, that's not that bad. Also, if this card leaves the field because of the opponent's monster's a card, we can special summon 1 Ice Barrier Synchro monster from our extra deck, which we've got covered over here. Finally, we finish up with Gungnir, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I don't know if I'm saying Gungnir right, it sounds weird. Once per turn, we can discard 2 cards, and then target that same number of cards, destroy them. 1 White Aura Whale. Now we're out of the Ice Barrier cards here. When it's synchro summoned, we can destroy all our opponent's attack position monsters, just like a free Lightning Storm. And it can make 2 attacks on monsters during the battle phase, and has Piercing. Plus, if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, banish 1 other water monster from our graveyard, and special summon it back. Easy peasy. 1 Adamancipated Rising Dragite, also a level 8, just like White Aura Whale, I did not mention it. We can excavate rock stuff. We don't actually have rock cards, that is irrelevant. But when our opponent activates a spell or trap while a water monster is in our grave, which I'm sure they're going to be if we're making this card, we can negate that spell or trap and destroy it. 1 Ice Shade Gymir Agarine, another card, I don't know if I'm saying this right. This one's a 10, and as a quick effect, we can make it so that all face-up monsters we control cannot be destroyed or banished by our opponent's card effects this turn, but we can just activate it every turn. Then, if we activated this in effect, in response to an opponent's effect, we can banish that card that our opponent used. And if a card is banished by an opponent's card effect while this card's in our graveyard, we can special summon him back, getting him back on the field. Easy peasy. Finally, we finish up with some draw synchros. Coral Dragon, a nice little 6. Once per turn, we can discard a card and destroy a card our opponent controls. And when this card's sent to the graveyard, we can draw 1 card. And then we can make Ravenous Crocker Dragon with Coral Dragon. And this card lets us draw cards equal to the number of non-tuners used for its synchro summon. So we can draw a lot of cards. Additionally, it gains 500 attack and defense for each card in our hand, which when we're drawing all those, we're going to have some in our hand. And as a quick effect, we can discard 2 cards and target a card on the field to destroy it. Next up, we've got the Xyz Monsters. Bahamut Shark is just here to make Totally Awesome. And Totally Awesome, once per turn during the standby phase, we can detach of frog stuff. Don't worry about it. What's important about this card is that when our opponent activates an effect, either a spell or trap or a monster, we can send an Aqua monster from our hand or field to the grave, and Toad counts as that Aqua, and negate the activation. Then, we could set the card to the field if it's one that we can use, but if it's not, just let it go to the grave, it's fine. Plus, when this card's sent to the graveyard, we could target a water monster in our grave and add it to our hand. And we wrap up the deck with some Link monsters here. Marincess, Coral, and Emily, special summons from our grave, gets us into some nice, interesting plays. And SP Little Knight, just a nice utility piece. So, let's jump right into game 1, and we are playing Paleo. Oh, this is going to be a long one, isn't it? We'll start with activating our Winds Over the Ice Barrier on our Hexa, just to get out Reveal It and start going into a little bit of combo. Reveal It, get back into Hexia, dump the magic, add Speaker back to our hand, special summon Speaker, go into Bomblet Shark, letting us get out. Totally awesome. We'll link these into Coral Anemone, special summoning back out the magic, getting rid of the Coral Anemone. Boom, 1, 2, make that 3 Ice Barrier tokens. We'll make Coral Dragon, then we'll activate Speaker to get out another token, and we can go into that Ravenous Cocker Dragon, letting us draw not 1, but 4 total cards. And let's see what our opponent can do through all these hand traps. Oh yeah, they're on Paleo. We can get rid of the card Demise, Ash it, and we'll Karaka Dragon one of these back row, but they still got a lot of Paleo cards. Not what I would have expected to see here. We try to go Reveal It, they Paleo it, we totally awesome it. They can still Paleo it, they trap tricks into a Daruma Karma Cannon. This is interesting. We're gonna special summon Gorgeous effect, activate Hex, bring back out Hexa, and we get Daruma Karma Cannon. Everything is gone. We can add the Speaker back to our hand for next turn, but with everything face down, not much we can do. They're gonna flip it sub their Dinomischus, and we will actually use the Kankai to flip it face down, and a whole bunch of Dinomorphias get changed here. They get some back out on the field. They get over Toad, but we can Toad add Swamp Frog back to our hand. And they end the turn setting a Dinomischus. We draw another Ash, we flip everyone over here, and let's get rid of that Dinomischus. They chain Dinomischus, they chain... Oh, there's so many traps that get chained here, man. We can get rid of that Dinomischus, so Special Summon Seeker, go into Lancia, make a token, and let's start beating over some things. Bang, 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 put our opponent on 54, and no cards left, but they still got a lot of graveyard things that they can activate. They're gonna special summon set this threatening Roar, and we will activate our Reveal It, special summoning back out Gorgus, go into Hexia. We'll make Trishula. Let's get rid of that, and they get to chain the threatening Roar and bring back out Dinomischus. Unfortunately, not much we can do here. We can put 4 Synchros on the board though because they special summon their monster. that when your opponent special summons a monster, special summon Trishula is crazy. They make Typhon here, and they can actually beat over our OG Trishula, but not much they can do here when they go to activate Typhon. We can just protect. And they try to Needlebug, we'll Ash that, and we should be able to beat over this Typhon. Yes, indeed we can. We put our opponent on the draw here. 2300 and a Dream. He draws a Paleo card, but he surrenders. Probably not much he was going to do with just the 1 Paleo. So yeah, a little bit of a grind game, but as you can see here, grind game don't matter. We put 4 Synchros on the board. 4 of them! Now, on to game 2. Our opponent is playing Skull Servant, but they've got some real cards in here, like some Albions, like some Polymerizations. So, let's see what we can get up to. They're gonna go first, activating a Zombie World and going for their Albion. We'll Valor that though, no thank you. They'll set the Super Poly, and let's see what we can do here. We draw our Revealer, which is really nice, and once we summon it though, it gets turned into another Soul Dragon. Unfortunate. We'll triple Tactics Downs, draw 2 cards, and okay, bye-bye. We'll Lightning Storm that away, clear the board, and send our Imperm. Feeling okay here with an Imperm and a Valor. When he goes into this Uni Zombie, we'll just Valor it, and that should just about it. Sorry. Yep, can't do that. He'll get in for 1300, but that's okay. Let's see what we can draw here, and maybe turn this game around. We get a Magic Master, which is cool. I mess up a little bit here. Not really. I thought I could beat into it, and I can't. I would beat into it, get the Rhoda, and see what we can do. But it's just a weird all-around play, because that's my normal summon, and I added a normal summon card. So, it's fine, it's fine. We're gonna let this go, since we do have the Imperm, but I was a little scared of what he could draw. He puts the King of the Skull Servants on the field, and we will Imperm that, putting it at 0 attack points. Not as scary anymore. Uni Zombie discarding his white cards. I don't know what all these do. I'm gonna be honest. The lady in the white, face up level 3 or lower, cannot be destroyed by battle. Blah blah blah. We'll normal reveal it. Dump 1. Special summon Hexia. Hexia. Dump the magic. Magic effect. Adding the Speaker. Speaker special summon itself back out, make a Bomb Out Shark, and make the Toad. Make the Coral Anemone, and as you know, we did this last game. We just keep doing it. Bring out Magic, get rid of Coral Anemone. 1, 2, 3 of them. We'll make Coral Dragon. Activate the Speaker, putting out another token, and we'll go into this Ravenous Carca Dragon, letting us draw 4 cards. With this card too, get rid of that Skull Servant and start beating over things, and this was a tie. I can't count. My bad. He goes to activate white cards in his grave, but we will dash that. White Mare special summons out Avendred, and we will quick effect to get this off the field. He shouldn't have much follow-up after this. Goes into a King of the Skull Servants, which is at 4,000. Uh-oh. We're put on just a Toad and some draws here, and oh, we draw the Rhoda. Medallion of the Ice Barrier. Getting us a Revealer. Getting us Hexa, dumping Magi effect, adding Speaker. This is a Speaker, special summon. This is literally what we did last time. But this time we're going to make the 3 of them into Lancia. Just put Toad into defense and end our turn. He goes into Albion, makes, another Soul Dragon. But little does he know, when the Lancia goes to the grave by an opponent's card, which it technically did, special summon 1 Ice Barrier Synchro Monster, and that new Trish card counts. We get to banish 3, and our opponent surrenders after that because he's out of gas. And we have this Trish. We were going to be able to normal summon this, put the Toad into attack, and that would have been game. So, really good in the grind game. Really good against this weird Skull Servant, high attack, manipulation, whatever. If your opponent don't read your cards, they're not going to know that you get to special summon a banish 3. Yeah, it's pretty good if you ask me. So, the Ice Barriers, all in all, might be like that. The deck felt great going first, great going second. Okay, maybe great's an exaggeration. Very good going first, very good going second. You get to play a good amount of non-engine. You're synchro summoning, you're spamming. It just feels like some good classic. Okay, not classic again. Feels like some good Yu-Gi-Oh! You have minimal floodgates, but they feel strong in a way that doesn't feel unfair. A great time for me, and I really enjoyed picking them in Eye. Who knows how Infernoble would have went? I love playing with the Ice Barriers. Let me know if you have any recommendations for future letters, and other than that, have a great day, everyone.